Welcome back again to the latest of our VentureSome series, and today I'm really pleased to be joined by Mick Jerram from Gecko Canoeing and Trekking up in the top end. Hi Mick, how are you?
Good, thanks, Simon. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well down here. Now, remind me, Mick, where exactly you are in the world?
Well, we're based up in a little place called Katherine, which is about 300 kilometres south of Darwin in the Northern Territory of Australia.
And that's that kind of triangle, isn't it, that people know, where you kind of drive across to Kakadu and then you can kind of come down the road, down the back to Catherine and then back up. There's often a triangle people do on their journeys.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. So it's sort of equidistant from Darwin to Kakadu as it is from Darwin down to Katherine and the other way.
So, just to begin with, just as an introduction, tell us a bit about what you do and how it all started.
Well, I run a little an operation called Gecko Canoeing and Trekking, which is mainly based in our Katherine region, and it's all about using canoes and kayaks as vehicles, obviously on rivers, to get out into our environment that we've got around here. And then we've also we take people out walking on some of the popular trails up here as well for the same reason. So how it all started, I guess it's just an evolution of what we've done throughout the life with camping with the family, and then I was working in the industry as a guide for a while and doing some adventurous training in the military, and just realised that I really enjoyed taking people out and showing them new places, different experiences, for a number of different reasons, whether it's personal development or just for them to have a great holiday. So it just grew from there, I guess.
So, tell me a little bit about the landscape of the top end.
Well, it's actually a stunning landscape. It's not what people expect. If they People sort of have a vision of the Northern Territory of being like the red centre, so a lot of red dirt and everything like that. But up in this area here, we're part of, or the middle, with a heart of the savannah, which a lot of people don't understand that a quarter of Australia is tropical savannah, just like African savannah, or yeah. So that's we have a lot of diverse wildlife habitat within those savannas. We have savanna woodlands, you have open grassland, you have the beautiful sandstone country, on the Arnhem Land Sandstone Plateau. We have areas that have like monsoon thickets within gorges and along the rivers. So it really is quite a diverse place.
And your tours down the rivers around Catherine are a long way away from. We saw some pictures of crocodiles there, but you're right inland, so the only crocodiles you get to see are freshwater crocodiles, which are pretty harmless. But you're we spoke the other day about. I asked you, and it'd be great for you to recount your first experiences sitting on a canoe. I mean, so being that close to waterways in these pristine areas of Australia, how does it feel for the first time getting out into those places that you take guests?
Yeah. Well, the waterways that we've got is mainly the Katherine River, and I'm a little bit biased, but I actually think it's one of the best waterways in Australia. I've paddled on most of the rivers in the states, in our states, and what the river that we've got here is, it's just the package of it, the whole experience on the river with the wildlife, the water conditions, the camping conditions. It all comes together for just to make a really, really nice, pleasant experience. And I always remember we actually used to do a fair bit of kayak racing on the river, and so we'd be thundering down the river having a race, just concentrating on opposition, not the nature around us. And a buddy of mine said once, can you come and help me out to take this group down the river? So I said yes. And I remember sitting on this, just beautiful sandy beach, and we've got clear running, shallow water, and that you can hear the birds. You've got wallabies bouncing everywhere, and I just remember sitting there going, "Wow, this is a really beautiful river, isn't it?" And I just, it was just a moment of click. More people should come down and see these types of places. And because I guess to a degree we think that we've lost a lot of places like that in Australia, but we haven't. There's beautiful rivers around that are accessible to people, and I really actually like taking people who think that it's something that they either interested or they've never thought about, and taking them out and safely showing the experiences on the river.
And so, what are people's expectations, or what do they see themselves doing in the top end that differs from what that they find themselves doing, I guess? And how does going on a trip or going to the places you take people to, how does that better realize those expectations?
Well, my view there is I know people, when they come up to the Northern Territory, they're looking for an experience to a degree blending culture and country and nature together. Um, and up here, the nature and culture, we're talking Indigenous culture, are actually quite linked. And if we're interpreting that, we try not to separate that as well, so they bounce off each other. But I envisage that when people come up here, they've just got the images of them sitting in a beautiful campsite, beautiful surrounds, sitting around a campfire uh, with their exclusive group, nice and quiet, and just enjoying what's around. Whereas sometimes people who they might come up and they might find themselves in crowded campgrounds, sitting around concrete fireplaces and having yahoos, a couple of caravans down and all that sort of stuff. And it ends up being quite different to the camping experience that they're expecting. Whereas doing what we do, doing things like getting on the river in canoes and kayaks, just takes you away from all that. And it provides what I think we really base our whole marketing of our experiences in the Northern Territory, and to a degree in Australia, is about the wide open spaces that we have.
And that a lot of the times, I think when we take a holiday like that, we there is a sense of wanting to sort of reconnect with some of the freedom of our childhood. And you grew up on the Murray River region, or near the Murray River region of Australia. Tell us about your sort of first experience of camping on rivers.
Well, we were actually it was the Murrumbidgee, so it's the same system,
Mm,
but we I grew up, spent a few years around in and around Canberra. It was a lot different than it is now,
mm.
and I remember as a family we were with some friends, and we were spending a day out on the Murrumbidgee River at a place which is it's actually nearly suburbia now in Canberra. But anyway, we were there, and we just happened to have some camping gear with us. I can't remember why. But I remember when we were packing up and going, I asked my mother and father, I said, can me and my sister, can we camp here for the night? And you come back and pick us up tomorrow? And they said yes. It was the days when you just did things like that. And they said, yeah, sure. And our friends left us a fishing rod with a lure on, which I've never ever used before. And we set up camp. We got left alone. And I remember just the rest of that day and the next day we were walking up and down the river, and I tried casting this lure, and accidentally got it snagged, but then all of a sudden I caught a little Murray cod, and it was just an experience that really clicked, and that got me started on camping and just getting out into the bush. And then ever since then, I was about 14 then. Ever since then, through my work life in the military, I've always actually quite enjoyed doing um, adventurous things or outdoor things. So yeah, like I said before at the start, it was an evolution.
I doubt there's a day goes by where you don't remember that that moment doing what you do. So final question: What we don't talk much about the COVID shutdowns on this, because we're all kind of in the same boat. To be, if you'll
Well,
forgive the expression, but what are you most looking forward to getting back to when this ends? What are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, it's well, I guess it's funny, isn't it, how you do come to appreciate just things that you've missed a little bit about freedom, and just getting out and doing what you want and not have to worry about who you're, where you're going. But I guess it'll be fantastic just to be able to take people down the river or out in the bush on the trails again. I actually miss just having that opportunity for people to come up and visit us and to take them out into the bush and just experience what we've got. It's quite incredible. So I do miss that a lot.
That's a really nice way to end, Mick. Thank you so much for your time. And as always, I encourage everyone who's watching to jump onto Gecko Canoeing and Trekking's website and check out Mick's stunning photographs. I think you just look at the front page of your website, it's enough of a smorgasbord to convince anyone that it's a trip worth doing. Get in touch with Wildiaries if you're interested in any trips to the top end. We're in touch with everybody, including Mick, and we'd love to help with you. And yeah, thanks again, Mick. All the best, and we hope to catch up with you again soon.
Thanks very much, Simon. Thanks for the opportunity. Love
Cheers.
your work.
Thank you. Bye.